all, it's the goateed sloth here, welcoming you to Slow Hands Fast Cars. We're not in a rush, but we will get faster. Here we go. Something all RC racers will need are tools. Plain and simple. You're going to need some tools. Now, not the person behind the camera or behind the controller. You're going to actually need some actual equipment to pretty much get the most out of this hobby. Without it, you're pretty much going to go nowhere. Now, as with everything I try to bring up on this channel, upfront costs is going to be a major factor when I'm discussing this. And with that in mind though, I will say the more you pay, especially with tools, the better quality you are most likely going to get. Alright? But it's not only quality, but it's you're paying for consistency. Alright? So there are a heap of tools you'll eventually need. We're talking soldering stations, setup tools, chargers. That's another video I must do. Rotary tools just to help your life a little bit easier. Spray painting equipment, booths, airbrushes, that sort of thing. You're going to need cleaning tools, cleaning equipment. You're going to need storage. Look, there's a lot to it, but you don't need it all to start with. You can accrue this stuff over time. But today we're looking at the main essential tools. Hex drivers and nut drivers. Okay, the things you're going to need to take apart your car, repair your car, fix your car, and just generally use your car. Alright, so let's get to this. So there are two types of tools. Hopefully I'm going to be putting lots of pictures up today. We're going to call the first one speed tip, or what I call changeable tips. Generally they have like a little system where you pull the thing down. I'll show you one in a second. You can put tips in, take them out. Okay, nice and easy. And you also have just fixed tools, things like screwdrivers and stuff that most people have. Okay, so I don't have any real preference between them. Use what you're comfortable with in that aspect. I have found though with mine, having a changeable one can be a little bit frustrating if you're not patient enough. Because you're going to be switching between, I think it's the 2 and the 2.5 mil hex wrenches quite a lot. Okay, so I've had to even change adapters like 2 or 3 times consecutively between screws. Doesn't bother me. I'm taking it patient, which I'll get to in a second anyway. But it might be something you need to take into account. If you don't think you're going to like that, just get fixed ones. You will pay a little bit more for them, but you know that is still definitely an option. I don't care either way on that one, but it's good to know what's out there. All right, so let's talk quality before we get too far ahead. There are many types of metals out there, right? Some soft, some hard, some strong, some weak, some brittle, some supple, heaps. Okay. However, the difference between, you don't even need to know them, who cares, right? But the difference between a good quality set and a crap quality set and all the bits in between is literally the manufacturing tolerances, and you pay for better tolerances, okay? Sure, harder steel is going to be way better than softer steel, but if it still hasn't got the right tolerances manufactured into it, you're still going to have issues, okay? So if you get a cheap set of bits, chances are the tolerances are going to be all over the place, probably between that set, all right? And that's going to result in fits that don't fit securely into the socket you're trying to get into, okay? This will result in excessive wear on the tool bit, which will round over the bits, and possibly the screws. Not fun, either way, okay? You're going to have to replace parts, you're going to have to replace bits. Just be aware of that, okay? So you need to get a decent set. Now, I'm not saying the best set, but you need to be aware of the issues you may have, okay? And when you're looking at buying something that's affordable for entry-level stuff, you need to be patient with the use of your tools. So because of those possible tolerances, right, you may have issues with some of your tools, but if you take your time and you use measured resistance, you shouldn't have too many problems. They will still last you a while, okay? I've been very patient with the use of mine because I've been trying to learn as well, so I haven't been rushing through things, but I can easily see that if I took the wrong size bit and put it into like a larger screw hole, and I just started wrenching, I'm going to round over those bits real quick, okay? So just be patient, take your time, make sure you get it right, and just be careful, okay? So generally speaking, what do you need? Right, you can nail this down to pretty much just 5 basic tools, especially for 1/10 scale, which is what I'm generally talking about, okay? You generally need a hex wrench sizes 1.5, 2, and 2.5 millimeters, right? That's going to cover a vast majority of your use, all right? The other thing you're going to need is 5.5 and 7 millimeter nut wrenches, okay? Take your tires off, little bolts and stuff that are around the place are going to use those as well. Okay, so they're pretty much it. You just really need 5, okay? Big note here. If you are going to get in a Tamiya, which I hope I will eventually, you will need, and I'm not just being hyperbolic here, you will need to get a Tamiya tool set, all right? The screws they use in Tamiya sets are what's called, I'm not going to get the technical name right, so I'm just going to call them a Japanese standard. Slightly different to Phillips heads, all right? They might look like it, but they're not, all right? Get yourself a Tamiya set if you're going to work on Tamiya cars. Save yourself a whole pile of headache, all right? And they're not that expensive. I'm going to say $60 to be safe, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure the video will prove me wrong in a second. Just do it, all right? I do plan on getting into Tamiya kits, and I nearly bought a Tamiya set until I found out they were specifically for them because they are a different size head. On that, let's move ahead. So what did I get? Okay, I got the Absema multi-tool kit, all right? It's 6 pieces. It has, I don't know what you want to call it, the adjustable thing. So you pull this back, you put the hex wrench in or whatever you're using, nice and easy, blah, 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 in it goes, lock it back down, not coming out, all right? I have found these very good, okay? Are they brilliant? No, they're not. But they were a pretty good price. I think I paid $57, $60, somewhere around there for them. And they've been absolutely fantastic. Okay, I've been using them, not an issue. Now, I got the Absema one for several reasons. One of the other ones I was looking at, the Coswork one, which I'll get to in a second, was unavailable at the time. I desperately needed a set of tools, so I grabbed this one because it was one of the only ones available. And I needed a few other things, and Campbelltown Hobbies, which is where the Absema stuff came from, they had those other bits, so I grabbed this. The only thing I can say is the very first use, the little magnet, you can't hardly see it, that was in the end here to hold the bits in place, it came out on the first use. I don't care. Oh, now I don't have the magnet. But yeah, I don't care because it still fits really snug. All right. Like I said, I'm not panicking. I'm not doing stuff. So I've always got backwards pressure on it and they barely move. All right. So not an issue. Okay. I also got the Absema because I have those little, what are they? Little SCYs or whatever they're called. So shitty or whatever. 1/16 cars, and they use only Phillips head. So I got this set because it has a Phillips head in it, and well, it's too big. It's useless. So I probably wouldn't get this set now if I was doing it again. However, I have no complaints. All right, I'm quite happy with them. So you can see I've gone that route with the whole reusable heads and all the rest of it, purely for price reasons. I would have loved to have got a nice set, but you know, money is an option. Okay, so that one comes with the 1.52 2.5 mil hexes, the 7 and the 5.5 nut wrenches. It comes with an S2 PH1 Phillips head, a hard case, really nice, and they're 1/4 drive, which is pretty much a universal sizing. So I can replace these and just keep using this because I actually quite like this. I don't love it, but I like it. All right, I would have gone the Coswork Complete Toolkit V2. Has 11 telescoping bits, so you can adjust the size as you go. They're double-ended. Has a ratcheting composite handle, which I loved the idea of. Okay, had a zippered carrying case, even better. All right, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 7, and 8 mil nut drivers. 1.52, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4 hex drivers. 00, 0, and size 1 Phillips head, 2, 3, 4 millimeter flat head, and 4 and 8 millimeter open-ended wrench. I wanted them. All right, $65, something like that, from Hobbies Direct. That's the one I wanted. They were out of stock when I went to get them. I would have Loved that one. That would have been absolutely brilliant. All right. And some of the people I've been talking to at the club actually have that set, and they're like, oh, look, they're great. They're not brilliant, but they're great. All right. Great to start with is what I think they would use the words. So go for it. If you can get them, get them. The other one I probably should have got, in now knowing I don't need the Phillips head stuff as much, the ProTech 5-piece from Campbelltown Hobbies, I think was $65 as well. I should have got that. I got the Absema because of the Phillips head, which I don't need. So the ProTech 5-piece, 1.52, 2.5 mil hex, and the nut driver's equivalent. Blah, blah, blah. All right, $65. I would have gone that. Okay, but again, I'm not upset. Nice little hard carrying case. Everything's sweet. I'm not disappointed with the Absema. All right, and I needed something at the time desperately, so I went there. Other little budget brands you could probably have a look at. Yeah Racing do some good stuff. GPM do some great stuff, and Factory Team. I'm starting to head up a little bit in price, but they're all good ones that I actually did consider. Now we're going to have a brief chat about top brands. These guys are the duck's nuts. All right. I've received several recommendations from the club, and I've had a look at some of these up close and personal. You've got 9-Step, Hearns Hobbies, Huddy, I don't know how to pronounce it. Hoodie tools. You can get them pretty much anywhere. ProTech True Torque SL. Oh, they look great. Nice and light. Definitely will be one of the ones I have on my wish list. And of course, MIP. Okay, MIP are the pinnacle. Okay, everybody uses MIP. They're all amazing tools, but they can be very pricey. For instance, MIP, you can get the 3 hex drivers you need. You know, what are the 1.52, 2.5? $100 just for the drivers. All right, you haven't even started talking about anything else yet. They're not cheap. $35, $40 per. Okay, so you get what you pay for. Not disagreeing, but I couldn't afford, and I couldn't justify that at the time because I didn't know how I was going to go with this. So my goal is I'm going to keep using that Absema tools. They're great. I don't have any problems with them, and when I wear them out or break them, I'm going to replace them with either MIP or ProTech. All right, and probably just keep going the quick change bits because I have no problem with them. My opinion on that might change if I do some more wrenching and stuff, but right now, that's what I plan on doing. And that way, if I lose, say, the 1.5 mil one, I'll just replace it with a really good quality 1.5 mil one. So that way I can upgrade them over time. Okay, so there's pretty much what you need to do. I was trying to keep this one nice, short and sharp. Absema is what I've got. I would go the ProTech and I'd go the Cosworks. I've had a look at all of them. They're great. If money's no object, MIP or ProTech SL, go nuts. You know, I think they're absolutely brilliant. What else will you need? Because like they're going to get you going. Couple of things you will probably need. You'll notice in that Coswork one there were some open wrenches. That's called a turnbuckle wrench. Now I've got this little cheap Yeah Racing one. It has about 6 different sizes built into it, I think, or 4. I can't remember. That's to adjust your turnbuckles for your camber, your caster, your servo, stuff like that. So you will need something like this. The Coswork one would have you covered, but this only cost me a couple of bucks. All right, it's a little bit small, it's a little bit flimsy, but it works. Does the job. All right, you will need one of them. The other thing I'm going to say you don't need, but you will definitely want, it's going to make your life easier, is a nice set of shock pliers. When you start working on shocks, as I've discovered, everything's oily, everything's greasy, you can't get a good handle on it. You can put like paper towel around it, you can get a bloody set of pliers so you don't scrape the shafts and stuff because you want them pristine. I wouldn't do that. Just get yourself a good set of shock pliers. You can get them from anywhere from like $30 up to I think 100 and something I saw one set for. They all have different sizes. They can grip the shafts nicely. You can undo your the rod ends and stuff like that, no problem. You can then do it all that you need. Definitely recommend them. I'm waiting on mine. I can't wait to get them because I really want to rip these things apart and go nuts. A little bit of work I've got to do on a few bits and pieces as well. But they also come with something that'll make my life amazingly easier. They come with, usually come with something, what are they called? Pivot ball tool part built into it. So you can pop out your pivot balls nice and easy. Oh, and replace them. Godsend of a thing. So I'm waiting on one of them. I'm definitely looking forward to getting some of them. So they're the ones. Get yourself some wrenches, get yourself some nut wrenches, turnbuckle wrench of some description, and look at some shock pliers. you don't really need anything more than that. You could get away with just nut wrenches and the hex wrenches. That's it. You could make do with that. Okay, so do it. Get something. Get going. Have some fun. All right. Again, more than happy with the Absema. I can thoroughly recommend them. But Coswork, be hard pressed for value not to go past that one. I think it's a fantastic value item. So get stuck in. I think one of my next ones I'll do will be on battery chargers, pretty important thing, and battery storage, very important thing. Okay. So until then, guys, have a great time. I'm RC racing tomorrow. I'm RC practicing this afternoon with the boy. We're about to get RC'd up. And I'm also going to go into something I learned very valuable this week that you're going to need to know that I had no idea about. But for now, I am the Goatee Sloth, reminding you to take it easy on the trigger, send it on the straights, and just don't forget, even a sloth can go full throttle.